Like, there have been multiple cases where there are, like, medics, like, helping protesters that have been, hurt.
Hmm.
And they're like, I'm a medic, you can't, like, stop me. Like, this is, like, you can't. Like, that's illegal for him to stop that.
Right.
And
And you're
they
noticing
literally,
that they're covering their badge numbers in
yeah,
certain PDs, and it's
that's not
like,
legal, is it?
you see, there's a PD, and this is hilarious. There's a
Okay,
PD that is doing this actively, and they have an interesting justification for it. First, let's drop where.
let's go, Misty.
Okay. Because of the recent death of our fellow officer, that we are putting these bands over our badges in his honor.
You can put that over not your badge number.
Exactly, and I think it's just interesting the way they justify it now. Because it's like later on, whenever it is that we get around to looking at all the footage and looking at all the cases and starting to like really sift through everything,
Yeah.
they want to have some sort of a defense in their favor to say, hey, this wasn't intentional, this is just something that happened.
Yeah.
And it goes to show like how further the problem is, like where's the fear? Like why are they so afraid to be, you know, identified? And that's something that grinds my gears these days, is just like how very peachy it is for these police officers to be like, you know what, like we're covering up our badge numbers. Nobody needs to know who I am or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. Oh shoot. Okay, almost died. Let me.
Mode. I got into an argument in defense of my friend earlier. Um, she posted about like rubber bullets being used
Yeah.
and how they're meant to be shot at the ground, not point blank at people. That is dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
they're meant to be shot at the ground because they're supposed to hit your lower half and not, permanently damage you. Whereas now there are people losing eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
There was a reporter that lost her eye because they were shooting rubber bullets at her.
exactly. And this guy commented, and because it said, rubber bullets aren't like lethal, they're blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm sure a rubber bullet could like kill you and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so why are they shooting them at people? Like, he was
Yeah.
like kind of defending the cops. And so I commented, and he was commenting back, well, the cops aren't taught how to shoot people. I can't remember what the fuck his wording was, because it was like a certain area of the body you're supposed to shoot at.
Hmm.
And he goes, and the military is taught to do this. And I'm like, so you're saying the officers don't know how to use their weaponry, so they shouldn't have it in the first place.
Exactly.
And yeah, no, and he goes, well, that's not what I said. And I'm
That's
like,
exactly what you said,
I'm
my
like,
dude.
that's exactly what you said. He's like, no, I meant they're just not as experienced as the military and they don't know how to use this. And I'm like, you literally just said
You
again.
said it again. They don't know how to use it. So, ergo, right? Why do they have
Yeah,
this in the first place unless they receive the proper training to actually use this thing?
yeah, no. And then he goes, well, they're not taught like the military how to kill people in mass amounts like this right now. And I'm like, so how do we go from rubber bullets to murdering massive crowds?
Yep.
And he didn't reply to me. Like,
I don't.
and
I
like,
don't know. It gets my blood boiling. This is the reason why I studied government in the
yeah,
first place. Is just like, how is all of this happening, and everyone is so aloof to it.
yeah.
you know, or maybe they're not even aloof to it, they're passively aloof. They're kind of saying, well, the system makes it to where I end up benefiting from it, so why should I be one to question? Why should
Yeah.
I be one to push back or support a fellow person? People. Alright.
I got the henchman for you.
Appreciate it. I
He's
was
about
not
ready
paying
to
attention.
take care. Okay, let's go.
Oh shit.
Maybe.
Got it. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah. No, and then there are like multiple videos of police coming up and like we touched on this before, but they literally come up to people who are sitting on the ground peacefully protesting, and they're just macing them directly in the face, point blank in the face, which can literally kill them. Like,
yeah. There
and
were
they're doing
kids.
it on purpose, obviously.
There were kids that were being maced too.
Yeah. No, there was a picture, I think I might have it, of an officer pointing, whatever the gun's called that shoots the rubber bullet, at a black man who was carrying his child on his shoulders. Like, imagine shooting him and him dropping his child. Like, maybe he wasn't even there for the protest. You know, like, maybe they were just walking home, because, like, that's what happened with one of the children that got maced. They were literally just walking home. How... I don't know.
How is that meant
Like,
to solve anything? How is that meant
Yeah.
to be something that's gonna create some sort of a solution to a problem, right? And I feel like there's so much to be said about what crowd control looks like. This morning, whenever I was seeing the protests here in Houston, I was thinking, well, so far from what I've seen, not that the media has done a good job of covering this, but so far, there have been little arrests made and little things that are going on. Now, what gets me a little angry is not knowing, because in my mind I'm thinking, you know, everyone is seeing this as a win. The media has it as a win. The chief of police sees it as a win. Everyone's seeing it as a win right now, and then you start seeing like some things that are a little worrisome about, hey, they're kind of boxing people in. You know, they're kind of saying
Make it easier to, like, take them, you know?
Yeah, to take them. They're asking for prison buses and things of that nature. And it just gets me thinking about how, like, well, I thought that this was meant to be a peaceful protest. I thought that the chief of police was out here talking to people instead of doing all of these things. And now you're just going to do all these things, what, because night fell?
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like, in all of my years of seeing crowds, and I've been in so many different crowds. I've been in like the concert crowds. There was a situation with Boston PD whenever I was this was after the Red Sox win. And we were out there, we were out there and we were having a good time or whatever, and everyone decides to go to Boston Common, which is the main park in Boston. All right. It got so the vibe was so energetic and so exciting, and then someone ended up killing the vibe. And what it was there was this guy who was climbing on top of a pole, and he smashed in the light in the pole.
Yeah.
The police came in, arrested the guy that did it, and did nothing else.
Yeah, so therefore, that's how that should happen,
That's how that interaction should take place, right?
Yeah.
However, it is becoming increasingly apparent that it's just not. You know, what happens to, like, where is that sense of crowd control? Why is there this need to?
partner's behind me.
Okay.
Oh, it's not her partner.
I'll shake.
Okay.
Um.
Down here. Did you hear about the DC like blackout or whatever?
The DC blackout?
Yeah.
No.
Where like all power and like cell service and shit went out for a while. I don't know the exact details, but supposedly there are a lot of people that like took them and like did something to them because like they're literally missing, like their family doesn't know where they are. So now there are people now there are people making videos that are like I don't have suicidal thoughts, I would never run away, like I have no intentions of like moving, blah 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 blah, like
right.
And they're asking everybody to like save them, and they save it to a hard drive, and like they send it to all of their family because the government is deleting shit from their phones.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like people are going missing in all of this, and it's scary.
It is scary. I think I don't know where I saw this, but I think I saw another post where it was like it was coming out of shoot, I forget where this is coming from. Facebook or something, and I was seeing how there's a long history associated with BLM protesters that they end up going missing very often, or what's it called? Hey, that they end up murdered, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you know, one would think that maybe this, you know, one thing does not have to do with another. But given what we're seeing right now,
or being glided in on.
Given what we're seeing right now, it's not the case, I feel.
Yeah. This is yeah. Shit. They just brought their friend back. Whoa. Shit. They're like almost dead. They gotta be.
Got it.
There you go.
Let me build a little housey.
We could go in here, right here.
Okay. Come on. More. What breaks my heart is it's my city, you know?
Yeah.
I know this is happening everywhere, but you know, because it's so close to home, you know? Yeah.
See, like, for mine, I literally, like, I couldn't feel bad for the people because, they were intentionally doing this shit. You know, like, it was not protest at all. Like, it was two different groups. Like, no, and there was supposed, I think it turned out to be slightly true. I'm not 100.
Yeah.
We have the world's largest truck stop right here. So that means a lot of traffic coming in and out.
Yeah, so you're saying like out-of-towners and stuff.
Yeah. So there was word of two different like large buses with like 200-300 people on them coming in from Chicago that were supposed to come into the surrounding areas, which is Walcott, where the truck stop is, Durant, the next town over, Bluegrass, the town south of it. I don't know, because like nothing came of it in the tiny towns.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of barricades that were put up. So it could have like went down, but they knew of the barricades and they knew they weren't getting through them. So
yeah,
they might have, you know, they've heard it elsewhere.
Cut their losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like our capital, is that what it's called? Capital.
Capital.
Like your state capital, like that would be.
Yeah.
That word sounds weird to me. It sounds too, like, official.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what it is.
Okay, anyways. Yeah, there were protests there. I didn't really hear much bad about them, so I don't really know how that went.
Yeah.
But this was for our biggest town that I was like most worried about. It was, I think, our second worst. Oh, I don't know what the word. Like, it was our second like most violent, like bad nights in the history of the town.
Yeah.
So I'm questionable on what the fuck the first is, because this was kind of bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, I characterize what is being seen right now as very.
Oh, ow! I feel
No.
that hurted.
That shit hurted.
There's also people on that roof. Oh, he had the boom bow.
Ah, from the other side. Damn it.
Yeah, no, I think there was people on the roof as well.
Damn. At the end of the day, I wonder where this is all headed. Because I think about how long this has gone on and how many people have died, and I just don't know, like, and this is something like very big level, is just like what are the next steps? What is going to happen next? Because we're already seeing a lack of leadership on the federal level, local levels, some, right? But also, it does look like the things are gonna keep on happening for a little while.
Well, yeah, because like even if like you do like we get our way in this and it's like, okay, we agree with you, this is bad. Where do you go from there? Because it's like this isn't just like changing like a law. This is like changing people's morals, Like this is changing like how people view people.
Yeah.
Like how do you
do that?
Yeah.
Yep. How do you do that? That's the question.
Well, I mean like that ties into the big words in Africa that you were telling me about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. I'm never gonna remember what it's called.
Apartheid?
But yeah, that.
In South Africa, yeah.
But like that's kind of what we're being faced with right now.
Is our own kind of version of apartheid.
Yeah. So where do
Yeah.
you go from there? Like this president put children in cages because he didn't like where they were from. Like one of his main slogans in his presidency was build that wall. Whenever this country was founded on like immigration. Like how do they think that we got this country? Like where did no bloodshed, no rioting, like nothing? Who do they think built it? It wasn't the white people, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Like it was literally built on the back of slaves, and like here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah.